Imagine a high school chemistry teacher turning into a methamphetamine-producing drug dealer. That's how Breaking Bad starts. We're introduced to Walter White, a man who could be your neighbor, your child's favorite teacher, or the guy you'd see at the supermarket. Walter is mild-mannered, law-abiding, a bit of a pushover. He's a man who plays by the rules, lives an ordinary life, and teaches high school chemistry. But when life throws Walter a curveball, his world is turned upside down. Walter is diagnosed with terminal lung cancer, a grim prognosis that leaves him grappling with fear, uncertainty, and the harsh reality of leaving his family with mountains of medical debt. He's desperate, cornered, and in this desperation, he makes a choice that sets him on a path few could have predicted. Enter Jesse Pinkman, a former student of Walter's, a small-time meth manufacturer and dealer. Jesse is the polar opposite of Walter. He's reckless, impulsive, and a rule breaker. But he's also a survivor, a trait that Walter comes to admire and, in a twisted way, emulate. Together, they venture into the dangerous and murky world of the drug trade. Walter, with his scientific expertise, and Jesse, with his street smarts, create a formidable duo. They navigate through the pitfalls and perils of their new life, all while trying to maintain a semblance of their old ones. But as we journey with Walter and Jesse, we begin to see a shift. Walter, the law-abiding chemistry teacher, is no longer. In his place, we find a man who is willing to break the law, risk his life, and jeopardize his family's safety to secure their future. It's a transformation that's both fascinating and terrifying to witness. As we delve deeper, we realize that Breaking Bad isn't just about drugs and crime. It's a story of transformation, and nowhere is it more evident than in the first season. Breaking Bad is a masterclass in foreshadowing, and most of it starts in season 1. Let's delve into some of these instances. Remember the pink teddy bear? It first appears in the opening scenes of the season, floating in Walt's swimming pool. It seems like an insignificant detail, but as the season progresses, it evolves into a symbol of loss and devastation. It's a haunting reminder of the plane crash caused indirectly by Walt's actions and the innocent lives lost. The pink teddy bear is a stark illustration of how Walt's choices have far-reaching, unintended consequences. Then there's Walt's cough. It's a constant through the first season, subtly hinting at the health battle Walt is fighting. But it's not just a symptom of his lung cancer. It's also a metaphorical representation of his moral decay. As Walt's criminal activities escalate, so does his cough. It's a physical manifestation of Walt's descent into darkness. Even the smallest details in Breaking Bad are laden with meaning. Consider the way Walt flips a coin to make decisions. It's not a mere plot device, but a symbol of how Walt grapples with the consequences of his actions. The coin flip is a metaphor for the duality of Walt's character, the mild-mannered chemistry teacher versus the ruthless drug dealer Heisenberg. And who could forget the recurring image of the RV? It's not just a meth lab on wheels. It's a symbol of Walt's desperation and his dangerous journey into the underworld of drugs and crime. It's also a testament to Walt's ingenuity as he transforms an ordinary vehicle into a tool of his illicit trade. Every detail in Breaking Bad is meticulously planned and intricately woven into the narrative. Even the smallest elements serve a purpose, contributing to the depth and complexity of the story. With every re-watch, these tiny clues make more sense. They show us the genius of Breaking Bad storytelling. Every frame, every dialogue in Breaking Bad holds meaning, and some of it is easy to miss. Let's dive into some of these hidden gems from the first season that you might have overlooked. Take the use of color, for instance. It's more than just a visual treat, it's a storytelling device. Notice how Walter White's wardrobe gradually shifts from light, muted tones to darker hues as he descends deeper into his criminal life. It's subtle, but it's there, hinting at his transformation from a humble school teacher into the feared Heisenberg. Similarly, the number 2 often pops up, signifying duality, a recurring theme in the show. There's the 2 lives of Walter, and the 2 sides of the law, and the 2 halves of the meth business. It's a clever way to signal the constant conflict within and around our protagonist. And then there's Walter's behavior. At the beginning, he's a pushover, easily intimidated and overlooked. But as the season progresses, you can spot the subtle changes. He starts standing up for himself, asserting his presence, even manipulating others to get what he wants. It's these minute alterations in his demeanor that foreshadow the ruthless drug lord he's on his way to becoming. Another noteworthy detail is the use of foreshadowing, like when Walter chooses the pseudonym Heisenberg, a nod to the uncertainty principle in quantum mechanics. It's a fitting name, considering how unpredictable and chaotic Walter's life becomes. These details may seem insignificant on their own, but they're crucial in building the narrative and characters. They add depth and layers to the story, making it richer and more engaging. They show us that nothing in Breaking Bad is accidental, everything has a purpose, and every element contributes to the overarching narrative. Breaking Bad rewards its viewers for paying attention. The more you watch, the more you discover. So keep your eyes peeled and your mind open as you venture further into the world of Breaking Bad. You never know what hidden gems you might stumble upon. Breaking Bad uses chemistry not just as a plot device, but as a metaphor for change. This statement encapsulates the core essence of the show. Walter White, the mild-mannered high school chemistry teacher, uses his scientific knowledge to transform into the notorious methamphetamine manufacturer Heisenberg. This metamorphosis is not just physical, but also symbolic, representing a change in his moral compass, his life's goals, and his very identity. The science in Breaking Bad is not just for show. It's surprisingly accurate. The creators worked with a chemistry consultant to ensure the scientific elements were as close to reality as possible. This commitment to authenticity adds a layer of depth to the narrative, making the plot more engaging and the characters' actions more believable. Consider the fulminated mercury scene. Walter uses his knowledge of chemistry to create a small crystal of fulminated mercury, an extremely volatile compound. When thrown with force, it explodes, giving Walter an upper hand in a tense negotiation. This scene is not merely an action-packed spectacle. It's an example of how Walter's scientific expertise becomes his power, his weapon, his shield. But there's more to it. The fulminated mercury scene is also a metaphor for Walter himself. Just like the crystal, Walter appears harmless, but under the right conditions he can be explosive, dangerous, deadly. This scene is a stark demonstration of Walter's transformation from a benign chemistry teacher to a volatile drug lord. Another instance where chemistry symbolizes transformation is during the meth cooking sequences. The process of cooking meth, a series of precise, controlled chemical reactions, mirrors Walter's journey. Each step in the process represents a decision Walter makes, a path he chooses, leading him further into the world of crime and further away from his old life. In Breaking Bad, chemistry is more than science. It's a symbol of change, of transformation, of Breaking Bad. It's the catalyst that sets Walter's journey in motion. It's the framework that shapes his descent into darkness. It's the lens through which we understand his motivations, his choices, his fall from grace. It's the driving force behind one of the most compelling narratives in television history. Breaking Bad is a complex show, and understanding it requires a deep dive. And that's exactly what we've taken in this video. We've journeyed through the first season, dissecting the narrative layer by layer, revealing the devil in the details. The first season of Breaking Bad is a masterclass in storytelling, and the hidden details and foreshadowing only contribute to the overall depth and richness of the narrative. Let's recap what we've covered. We started with the unforeseen journey of Walter White, a high school chemistry teacher turned meth manufacturer, diagnosed with terminal cancer. His transformation wasn't just a sudden shift, but a meticulously planned character development foreshadowed through subtle hints and clues that could be easily missed in a casual viewing. Then we moved to the devil in the details, analyzing the intricate elements that were woven into the narrative, from the color symbolism to the recurring motifs. These details, often overlooked, are the threads that bind the narrative together, adding layers of complexity to the story and its characters. We also uncovered the hidden gems, the Easter eggs that were cleverly placed throughout the first season. These hidden gems not only provided an element of surprise, but also served to enhance the narrative, reinforcing the themes and motifs of the show. And finally, we delved into the chemistry of Breaking Bad, exploring how the scientific elements were incorporated into the storyline, providing a unique twist to the narrative. The chemistry served not just as a plot device, but as a metaphor for transformation and change that resonates throughout the series. The brilliance of Breaking Bad lies not just in its storytelling, but in its attention to detail. The first season sets the stage for a journey of transformation that is both compelling and tragic, and as we've discovered, understanding Breaking Bad is not just about following the plot, but about appreciating the intricacies and nuances that make it a masterpiece.